singer named Justin Moore.
We don't do a whole lot of bullshitting up here. We just get up here and play country music.
Hey, I think it's working. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Justin Moore podcast. Today, we've coming to you with a season preview of the upcoming season 3 here on the Justin Moore podcast. I'm your old buddy, your old pal, JR the Handler, and across from me is your favorite singing Razorback. I know I use that a lot, but that's the truth. And one of my best friends on this planet, Mr. Justin Moore. What's going on, JM?
Hey, buddy. We had off season, which
Yes.
was Christmas and New Year's. It was a little different for us this year, or a lot different, I should say. A lot less family interaction, I know, for you and for me. But I do hope that everybody out there listening and watching this had a great Christmas/holiday season. We finally made it through 2020. Hopefully 21 will be much better for all of us.
Certainly starting off with a bang.
Yeah, no kidding. 2021 said hold my beer, or 2020, or however that works. But
Right.
Hopefully it's all uphill from here, or downhill, whatever's better.
It's been all Bernie Sanders memes this past week.
Oh my goodness, it's so funny. It's so funny. But yeah, it's so that was our off season. We got some stuff taken care of that we needed to. Had some family time, downtime, etc. Now we're in the preseason to relate it to sports, and we're a couple of weeks away from the regular season, which would be season 3 of the Justin Moore podcast starting, and we're excited. We've got a really exciting season upcoming planned for you guys. A lot of great guests. I know we've had that on both the first 2 seasons, but some guys, honestly, I didn't know if they would be interested in doing this, and I'm talking really, really big stars that are on board.
Guys and gals. Guys and
gals, yeah. Artists, I should say. We have some other exciting stuff as well planned for you guys, stuff that we've been working kind of towards through this whole thing.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to get it kicked off. But we did want to come on and say, hey, and this is what we're doing. This is where we've been, and this is where we're going. So
yeah, I know we've gotten a lot of feedback from our listeners wanting to know when the new season was coming out, and I've responded to as many as I could on social media, which, by the way, still remember to use the hashtag Justin Moore Podcast when you're interacting with us on social media. JR the Handler, Justin Cole Moore, Instagram and Twitter, JustinMooreMusic.com, JRTheHandler.com. Send me some messages on there. Any suggestions for other guests you might want us to have or topics you want us to discuss? I've had some great ones over the past month or so since we've been on break. And also anything else you want to let us know, but also questions. I'm getting a whole new list of Q&A going. I've got a few on the list already, so I want to get some fresh new questions that you haven't been had a chance to ask Justin or myself or just any of our bunch yet. So here's your chance now. Send us some new ones. You'll get right on top of the list. So do that. And also, as you're talking about new exciting things, which I'm the same, I'm so pumped about this new season. It's going to be great. But I've told everybody that we're just trying to get all of our ducks in a row because we want every season we step it up a little notch. So this is going to be just from 1 to 2. We went with video, and now from 2 to 3, I'm redoing my studio. We've got new equipment in our studios. We've got some new stuff with our internet, and said we're taking a little different approach to this season because we want it to be even better than the first 2 seasons, which have been fantastic. For me as a fan of country music and somebody involved in the genre, getting to catch up with our buddies, especially during quarantine, we didn't get to see and talk to some people. And this season, we're going to have some people we already know, some people you guys already know, and also some people we don't know as well as we're going to after we chit-chat with them and maybe turn you guys on to some new people as well. And I know I'm looking at talking about the preseason. It's like our coach used to say in warm-ups and stuff, you lay up a couple bricks. It's like, okay, let's get all the bad shots out now. You ready to play yet? So maybe 2020 was just getting all our bad shots out of the way, and 2021 is going to be strong. I know we can go ahead and hit this. If I sound a little nasally, I'm actively getting over the COVID virus myself right now. Justin had it a couple of months ago. And I actually, a week or so ago, tested positive myself. So I'm on about day 10. I'm not feeling like $100 like I normally do. I'm feeling more like about $75 right now. But it's not the end of the world. It's Luckily for me, I hadn't had any respiratory problems, mostly just a stuffy head and some body aches, and I just ain't got a whole lot of spunk. And I can't taste and smell, which I know I've talked to a lot of people about that, and that's a weird thing, and it's strange because it really, of any sickness you've ever gotten or ever heard anybody gotten, never a side effect is you lose smell and taste. That's strange,
No, yeah. Like JR said, we've kind of both had it, or not kind of. We both have dealt with having it. So that's been another reason, just quite honestly, for a little bit more of a delay in starting season 3 than we had hoped. So we'll have some stories about that. We'll tell you guys out there listening and watching. We'll go through our own journey through it and give you our experiences with it. Upcoming, probably episode 1, to be honest with you, when we're catching up with you guys. But like JR, we didn't have any really bad effects, but the worst, honestly, for us was the taste. The smell I could do without, whatever. I've got smoke detectors that are loud if the house catches on fire. Not to kid about that.
I have to ask Sharice. I'm like, smell this. Is this okay to eat? Because I just can't smell anything, and it happened instantly.
I ain't had to smell all the girls lately, so that's been good. But
yeah,
picking up kill me when she hears this. But,
yeah, picking up Lola's bombs outside have been a lot easier without having to gag every time I'm getting up those loads to the trash can. But yeah, luckily, thank the Lord, okay. But it makes you think. I definitely don't want to pass it along, so I've just quarantined at home, and Sharice has had 2 negative tests, so that's good. And hopefully, I'll be over this soon, and we'll be back rocking on this new season.
For sure. Yeah, we'll go into depth on that experience for both of us and our families and all that good stuff. Also, my son, South, who's 3, has a broken leg, and it happened on my watch.
Yep.
Unfortunately, this is his second broken leg.
Poor fella.
So he's doing good, but he's still got a cast on. We'll give you all the scoop on what happened with that, because it's a good one, because, again, it happened on my watch, and I am a helicopter parent, so I am very surprised that this happened on my watch.
I am too.
But we'll kind of give you all the details behind that and all the scoop as to how that went down.
Yeah, and we've also talking about things to let people know on. We've also got some shows on the books finally.
We have shows on the books. Yeah, we're really excited. We're going. Just one of them off the top of my head, we're going back to Billy Bob's, which we were just there November of last year, maybe December of last year.
Yep. Yeah, we've got that show. We've got another show in Mississippi. We're going to play the Dixie Nationals Rodeo in February. Yep. And we've got a live stream we're going to go do here next month as well that we'll have all the info on that. So this is a full production, full band, big howdy-doody live stream that we're going to put out. So we're going to have all the info on that on the first episode of the podcast. We'll start getting into that and get you all the info.
And speaking of music, JR, we've got we may or may not have new music coming out really soon that I'm excited.
I smell an exclusive.
We'll just tease you with that. We'll give you all the details behind that as well. All this will probably be on episode 1, season 3 of the Justin Moore podcast. We're just, again, trying to get you guys ready, set you up, tee you up, let you know what's coming. Yep. We may have new music coming a couple times here really soon. I'll tease you with that. Yeah. So, really exciting.
I smell an exclusive.
Really exciting stuff coming from a musical perspective, shows, and possibly more. We'll just say that. So.
On top of the number 34 song in the country right now, that your single right now that's just climbing up away. I've listened to, and if anybody wants some stuff to listen to in the meantime, in the next week before we put the new podcast out, you can go to Crook and Chase's podcast. They just had Justin on there talking about new music and talking about the podcast. You can check that out on their latest episode. Also on KFDI.com, they've got where Justin did an interview this past week. I know you've done a few media things as of late, talking about new music, the podcast, and your time off during quarantine and off the road. So everybody can go find those and check those out and share them and pass them around. And then, when we come back, we're going to have all kinds of new stuff to talk about and new things to announce, like Justin alluded to, maybe some new music in the pipe for him, down the pipe for him sooner than later. I mentioned it before. I'm eyeing in on it. Should be ready in a few weeks. I'm going to be doing and we hadn't even talked about this off air, but an hour-long weekly Southern rock show on the Floribama radio channel on the iHeart Network. So that'll be a fun little turn for me. As everybody knows, I love country music, but I also love Southern rock and classic rock, and hell, I love everything, jazz and folk and anything. But anyway, I'm going to get on for an hour every week, probably on Thursdays at noon, and talk about some classic rock and Southern rock, and which is a cross genre of classic rock, but talk about some Southern rock, which you and I both love. So we'll be the Skinner, the Allman Brothers, the Charlie Daniels, all that fun stuff.
Heck yeah.
So looking forward to that too.
Right up my alley.
Yeah, for sure. So, and it's fun because, we talk about a lot of country music on here. This gives me a way to talk about some Southern rock and listen to some different stuff. And if anybody watching on YouTube right now, which I hope you are, that was one thing we're going to try to do this season is have when the episode comes out on podcast form, on listening form, it's also going to come out on YouTube at the same time, or at least very shortly after, instead of a lag we've had before. We've got that hemmed
That's
up. That's
really exciting to me, man.
Yeah.
It is, I don't mean to interrupt,
yeah,
but, season 1 to season 2, we injected the video into season 2. We had some moments, which JR alluded to, or some weeks, I should say, where we didn't get the video out as efficiently, as quickly as we would have liked to, for a myriad of reasons. But right now, as we have it planned, they will come out simultaneously, which is really, really exciting for us. I know that's a goal of ours, and we have some new production stuff planned, as you alluded to. New office space. All this is going to be rearranged that you see and hung up on walls instead of sitting on benches and that kind of stuff. So I'm looking forward to that. And that will be by episode 1. So we're still a little bit of work in progress, but we're gaining on it. And go ahead and tell them about the merch, JR.
Yeah, I was going to say, if y'all are watching on YouTube right now, I've got on my brand new, fresh Justin Moore Podcast t-shirt here. You can get those off of Justin's website. Put your favorite beverage in this nice Justin Moore Podcast coffee mug, because what podcast doesn't need a coffee mug to accompany it?
Hey, I haven't even seen that.
Hey, there we go.
So, you know this, but at our beach house, rather than having like all uniform coffee mugs, because we're coffee drinkers, we buy, at each local business, we buy a coffee mug, like the local restaurant or gift shop or whatever. And so I'll have to add that to.
You should have had you should have had a package in the mail. I sent you some all the new merch. You should have got it already. T-shirts for you and the girls, and then coffee mugs for you and Kate.
I hadn't seen it.
Huh? Well,
which I will say, some of our stuff goes to the post office, and some of our stuff goes to our house, regardless of which way you send it.
Right.
And so we check our mail at the post office, because we don't get it delivered to our house about twice a year, so it could be there.
I remember last time you guys went and found the treasure trove of lost mail we thought was gone, and hey, that's why I've told a lot of people, if you got something for you, just send it to me, and I'll see you sooner and later. And speaking of that, I don't know if anybody can notice this sweet wooden cutout of my logo here. The fine folks over at Farmhouse Laser Cuts made for me and sent to me. Got that up as a new centerpiece, because I'm also redoing my whole studio. It's a work in progress. I've moved locations inside of my studio and turned and got the lights different, and I got redoing all this. But they sent me this, so big shout out to Farmhouse Laser Cuts, and he actually sent me a picture today of an Arkansas Woo Pig Suey one he made for you that it's on the way as well.
Pretty cool.
So shout out to those guys. Y'all check them out on social media. That's Farmhouse Laser Cuts. So yeah, we've got that. Justin's got his studio being retooled. I've got mine being retooled. It's going to be a great season. I'm pumped. Yeah. I'm pumped about the guests we've already talked to and the people we're talking to about coming on. I know I've missed. People have asked, what's Justin up to? I'm like, since we took a break from the podcast, we really hadn't caught up as much. I know you guys, we did the holidays, and then you guys are back in school, and then y'all are already playing ball. I know the girls are back into basketball already.
Oh yeah, we're close to being done with basketball, and we're getting geared up for softball. We had a softball meeting the other night. Matter of fact, we'll go into all that stuff on
Yes.
episode 1, season 3. And speaking of that, with softball, because we're talking about friends and stuff, this made me feel good. A great friend of ours. Matter of fact, we're going on vacation together here in a couple of weeks. We're going skiing, so I'll have plenty of stories about that. You know how much I love to ski.
Ski school.
Yeah. So she said, "When is season 3 starting? I need to hear you and JR." And so that made me feel good. And that's a great friend of ours who we see 3, 4, 5 times a week. So I was like, well, that's kind of cool. So, but anyway, looking forward to it. And speaking of all new stuff, we also have some great new sponsors we're so excited to tell you guys about. And I'll be honest with you, you guys know me by now. If you watch this, listen to this. Look, we love a lot. We love any sponsor who's willing to believe in us enough to spend their advertising dollars with us, whether it be, us on the road or us doing the podcast. But I'm very strategic about who we develop relationships with, and as far as sponsorships go, I don't like telling you guys to go do this or go purchase this or buy into that if I don't believe in it. And all of the ones that we have lined up, I am so excited about, and they're places that I use, and if I haven't used them, I certainly will and would. And so we're excited about that too. We've got some great new relationships that we're excited to tell you guys about.
Like you said, we've got some great new sponsors coming on. Look forward to telling you guys about those guys next week. And until then, I want to thank all of our sponsors for the last 2 seasons. We really appreciate y'all, our friends who've came up and helped us to cover some of this production cost and equipment and stuff. Trace Construction, our buddy Lindsay, thank you. Natural State Wholesale, our buddy Don Grisham. I actually texted with Don yesterday. I want to thank the Floribama for keeping me busy during this off season and teaching me how to run sound again. Lazy Goat Produce in Jefferson, Georgia. Appreciate those guys. DDPY for keeping us alive and keeping us mobile. Thank you, DDP, for all you do for us in the DDPY system. If you've got any health issues or just need a motivational kick, go to ddpy.com and he'll give you one. And my brother, Mr. Justin Hill, over at the Esteboga Bee Company. I want to thank you again for keeping my coffee so sweet with this beautiful North Alabama honey. So I feel like I just did a skit for Ricky Bobby.
And helping your allergies.
Yes.
If it's local.
It is, and it does.
There you go.
I feel like it. I really do feel like it helps when I use that as my sweetener in my coffee. And even today when I did it, I cleared up a little bit better than I already was. So
there you go.
It works. So, but I know next week we're going to drop all this new stuff on. We're going to have a new season, so everybody make sure to use the hashtag Justin Moore Podcast. Click like, subscribe, hit that notification button. That way you get a notification to know when it actually does drop. Go to the social media handles. We're going to have info on there as well. And before we get off here, we got another week or so. Any new movies or TV shows or anything that you've been watching that we could – I know that's a question that comes up a lot. I know for me, I'll go ahead for me, and I know I've talked to you and your wife the other day on the phone. I think y'all might have just started, but I'm hooked on The Crown. I've been home for a week, and I'm already on season 2. I am hooked on The Crown. That's some wild stuff to think about.
It ain't the first time I've been hooked on The Crown, JR.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? Yeah, that's the. You and I spoke the other day, and Kate and I were looking for a new show to watch because all of the ones that we love we're either caught up on or they're finished, and so we were kind of looking for something else, and you suggested The Crown, so that's what we started. It's hard for us to have a couple going on at a time, but we're liking it so far. We're behind you, but that would be the one that we're all over right now. So I would suggest that to anybody out there listening for sure.
Yeah. And I know everybody's going to ask it, what'd you think about Yellowstone? I haven't watched Yellowstone yet, but you can assure you I'm going to.
I can't believe you're watching The Crown before you watch Yellowstone.
Well, I know.
That's ludicrous.
I don't know. I think I looked for it the other day. I don't think I have the proper subscription. I think I got to get another subscription.
Amazon
Prime is.
Yeah.
Well, then I've got it. Huh.
Yeah.
All right. No excuses. Right, I might start that tonight.
Okay, stop The Crown and start Yellowstone. You got to catch up on that first.
I think I've told you something similar to that. Like, Justin, put down The Crown. We've got to go to Yellowstone.
Exactly. No doubt you have. Stop The Crown, Justin.
We've got to get up, go in the morning. We're going to Yellowstone. You got to get some rest. So, but
exactly.
no, and, actually, truth be known, and you know how this is. We're both married to girls from down the bayou, and they kind of keep us in check, which we need, hillbillies like us. But Sharice had started The Crown before and she kept saying, you need to watch it. I'm on episode 4. You need to catch up, baby tomato, And so she was on five or 6 maybe, and I said, well, let me go ahead and start it. And then next thing I know, I've already passed her. She's worked a bunch this week since I've been quarantined. So I passed her, but that was kind of where it started. I wanted something we could watch together, and I knew it had a few more seasons, so I wanted to do that. But I got some time. I may fire off Yellowstone tonight. I know friends of ours we know have had songs played on it and things like that. Yeah, so, for sure.
Maybe future guests.
Yes, never. Hey, I don't know. You never know. You never know. So yeah, that's it. And as far as music, I've been listening to a lot of different stuff lately. Don't have any of that to drop, but I'm going to get a list up of new music I've been listening to and new stuff I like. I get that to you guys here in the first couple episodes of the podcast as well. We're going to get back to some more Mount Rushmore type stuff that we did in the first season or the second season.
Another bit that I have, because we both kind of came up with some different things like the Mount Rushmore last season. Another one I want to get to, guilty pleasure music.
Ooh,
guilty
nice.
pleasure stuff that I don't know if you would be, but you should be embarrassed by, but you love. Okay, so that's just a teaser out there. Everybody, get those ready. Get ready to embarrass yourselves, and it's all good because we're all gonna do it. All right.
And that's music and movies too.
Music. I just thought about music, but we could do movies as well.
Because I know I like some cheesy movies. I just watched. I was watching as I was watching Magnum PI reruns earlier today, which is one of my faves. I flipped on Sling for a minute and found one. It was what is it? American. Oh man! Anyway, a Chuck Norris movie where he might have said 4 words and kicked about 600 dudes' butts. It was so awesome.
No, I'm talking. That's not guilty pleasure though. It's Chuck Norris, so it's badass still. I'm talking related. We could even go TV shows. Like I get made fun of. I'll give you an example. I still don't understand why I'm made fun of for this, but my wife makes fun of me for loving The Little House on the Prairie. But she says it's a girl show, so maybe it is. I don't know. So that's what I'm talking about. We'll get into that with music, movies, TV shows, and.
All right. So tell me if this is right. I'm going the right thing. Make sure I'm playing the game right. So far as music, one that you would be a head scratcher. JR likes that. My new favorite song lately is the Miley Cyrus song "Midnight Sky."
I've never heard the song, first and foremost. Second of all, yes, if you like any Miley Cyrus song as JR, that's a guilty pleasure.
Okay, well, there you go. There's my guilty pleasure. Miley Cyrus, Midnight Sky, that's a rocking tune.
Mine right now is that song by The Weeknd, that
I'm sure I'd know it if I heard it. Yeah.
It's huge right now.
Yeah.
Huge.
Gotcha.
But it sounds like an old 80s pop kind of hit. To me, it's what it sounds like. But anyway.
Yeah, okay. Gotcha. Okay. So, now, all right. So that we know the game now. Okay.
So that's some teasers for you guys. We're also going to get back into JR and I stumping each other. We kind of got out of that. We did it 3 or 4 times. I took a commanding lead just as his Alabama Crimson Tide basketball team, and I didn't stutter. I said basketball team has done early on in the SEC season. We're going to get back to that because I'm going to continue to hopefully stump him on Stump the Handler. But now that I mentioned basketball, you guys, not only congratulations for winning another, I think your 75th national championship in football or some stupid something like that.
That would be eight. That would be 18 national championships.
Yeah, there you go. Well, congratulations.
Thank you, buddy.
Which that didn't surprise anybody, but I will say it's a bit surprising that you guys are so dominant so far in basketball as well. So we're going to talk some not only SEC hoops, but college hoops as a whole.
Yep.
Because we're kind of getting into the meat of the season now.
Yeah.
Even though it's a shortened season, getting into the meat of the season. Plus, we got the Super Bowl coming up, and we got love him or hate him, Tom Brady has got to be the GOAT. I mean, love him or hate him. And I'm not a huge fan, but I mean, how do you deny it at this point? So you got, the old GOAT going against the baby GOAT.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes. So looking forward to that. We'll talk about that. We're liable to have a marathon episode 1 for you guys.
Yeah.
But we're going to talk all kinds of stuff, sports.
Yeah,
and all the stuff we've mentioned.
Yeah, bummer for you and I. Both our teams were really good this year. The Saints and the Steelers both really good this year and just couldn't get it done. I mean, Brady went to a new team and is going to the friggin' Super Bowl again. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Unreal.
And we know we may know by then whether Breeze hangs it up or he doesn't. Speaking of your team, Saints,
I know, man.
So.
Yeah, it's inevitable, but
so we'll have a ton to talk about. Is my
ton
point.
to talk about. Ton to talk about. And yeah, I have to say this too. I want to, and hopefully we don't have many more of these because it seems like the first 2 seasons were a lot of looking back on careers and lives of some of our heroes and people we admired a lot and big names in the music business that passed away in 2020 and 2021's not getting off to a very good start as far as all that. I know in the past week or so. Big names that everybody would know. Mr. Larry King, the famous host, just passed away on television for all those years and radio. And then Mobile, Alabama's own Hammer and Hank Aaron just passed away. I mean, a cultural icon and a baseball.
Especially for a Braves fan. Like
I mean, and
I mean,
being,
for everyone. But
yeah, and I mean, and being like I live in, an hour from Hank Aaron Stadium now, I mean, and he's a fixture of the state and in the South. I mean, he broke Babe Ruth's record, and I mean, he just did it with class and dignity, and was an ambassador for South Alabama. I mean, just a great dude.
Yeah, just a great character for the game. I mean, he was so classy, but also had just a great personality. If you see him in interviews and stuff like that, it was just another giant.
Yeah.
I
would have to say, definitely has a spot on Mount Rushmore of baseball. Hank Aaron, you have to.
He's definitely got an argument.
Yeah,
definitely got an. I mean, obviously, we could get into that right now, but starts. I don't think it matters who you ask. Starts with Babe Ruth, and then you kind of go from there. Right?
Yeah. He'd have been, and I think those two are shoe-ins, and then you could go anywhere because then you could go pitchers or hitters, or because then pitchers is a whole nother argument. So got plenty of those to go with. So unfortunately lost him the past couple weeks, and then this past week we lost one of our own, a guy who had worked for us the last couple years, and before that with Mr. Tracy Lawrence. He was a guitar tech for us and worked for our production team. Shout out to the family of Mr. PJ Oxenfeld. Hate to lose old PJ. He was a good guy. I don't know all the details yet.
Yeah,
but unfortunately, he's moved on to that good gig in the sky. And
then, we talked about JR. Not to interrupt, but we talked about on this podcast. We talked about the Charlotte Motor Speedway drive-in show, and he was at that gig. We did that gig together. And
he did our Lynchburg, Tennessee show with us, and
just so sad. But
went back home, and don't know all the details yet, but just sad, poor guy. And then also one of my friends and a member of my Wayne Mills band family and our musical family and country music and Southern rock, Mr. Jason Rowdy Cope of the Steelwoods, formerly of the Wayne Mills band and Jamie Johnson bands, producer, guitar player, just a phenomenal guy and human being all the way around. He was a guitar teacher. He was teaching Wayne's son Jack guitar. And he actually passed away a few days ago as well, at a way too young of an age. He's my age. He's 41. So that's tough, buddy. And he was a great guy. I just don't know why they take the good ones. As many assholes as out there, you'd think they'd grab more of them. But I guess like we know, everybody's got their their time here and use it well. So want to do a shout out to all those families and roll them easy to those guys. And hopefully, my point of all this is, hopefully this season will be less of that and more joyous occasions and things to celebrate. Like we were talking about music earlier, you got the number 34 song in the country right now, and it's climbing on up, and hopefully it's going to ring the bell. And a couple other buddies of ours on there. And then we've got some shows, I know, on down the pipe. We've got some people we're going to do some shows with. So hopefully we'll have all kinds of exciting, fun things to celebrate and not so much sad stuff. But I wanted to make sure to put time in every week for that if needed, hopefully not needed anymore. So I've got a whole bunch of stuff that we're going to go over when we kick this season back off. But we just want to jump on here real quick today and say thank you all for making this possible. And we're looking forward to a new big season, and we hope you guys are too. So without further ado, go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah, I was going to say our goal with this was 15 minutes. We're going on 35 minutes here. So
that's how we do it in Dixie.
So anyway, thank you guys for your patience. Hope you guys had as great a holiday season as you possibly could have had throughout this strange time. Thank God 2020 is over. Looking forward to a great 2021 with some freaking live music.
Yes.
Because I have certainly missed it, and I'm hopeful that you guys have as well, and look forward to getting back out there and celebrating it alongside all of you fine men and women out there listening and watching. And it's good to talk to you, buddy.
Yes, sir.
Feels like it's been too long. We try to kind of save stuff rather than having those conversations like we normally have. We try to save it for this. So look forward to getting back to the Justin Moore podcast as well and doing it each and every week. And again, it's going to come out on video and audio simultaneously this year, which is exciting. So you can either wait till you get home and watch it. You can listen to it and then go home and watch it with your spouse after the day of work is done, whatever you want to do. But no matter what you do or how you get this, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment, because that is, I don't know why that's helpful, but it's very, very helpful.
Yes, 5-star rating, 5-star ratings, subscribe,
rate, review, and subscribe, and like, and all that good stuff. So thank you very much. Appreciate it. And we will see you very, very, very soon. Until then, y'all stay safe, and we're out of here till
soon.
Till soon, till we see you real soon.
Real soon. Thank you to all of our first responders out there and everybody in the medical field for keeping us all going.
No doubt.
We appreciate y'all, just like we appreciate all you listeners here on the Justin Moore Podcast. Hit us up on social media. Use the hashtag Justin Moore Podcast, and we'll see you guys real soon. Thanks, y'all.
Deuces.
Cheers.